Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality of the best hair, and yeah, March is well past over, but at the very least, I need to review the movie I initially set out to do a March for the Clowns this year in order to cover in the first place. Terrifier. The feature-length Damien Leone film from 2016, and the product of a successful Indiegogo campaign. Terrifier set out to do what All Hallows Eve did, only under technicality. Produce a 90-minute horror movie with Art the Clown as the horrifying centerpiece in this grisly tale of terror. This time because it's all one story, and hey, the clown's the one running around doing all the killing. While having the same name as the short Leone produced years prior, the meat of this tale is similar but different. Quite a few situations come up that pay homage to Damien's previous works, but this time we follow a small cast of characters one Halloween night as their fates are intertwined when they find out they have one thing in common: being hunted down and murdered by a sadistic clown. And hey, that's more than what you get in most dating apps. So let's take a look at Terrifier and see just what a few years and a butt ton of supporter money can do for a clown. The tale begins at the end of another tale. The lone survivor of a clown massacre is giving an interview on TV about what it's like to make it through a night of horror as a man in face paint brutally butchers your friends and family and leaves you mutilated.
I wish I was dead.
Do you still feel that way?
I don't know, I was feeling kind of pumped up about being on TV, but you keep asking these stupid questions. There's also a dispute over whether or not Art the Clown is really dead, which she swears he is, right before we see the clown gear up for yet another night of nightmares and murder. To some pretty kick-ass tunes. Really puts you in the mood for some grindhouse-style gore and the body counter-rising. You know, if you're into that sort of thing. And yes, the interviewer here is in fact Katie McGuire, who played Sarah in All Hallows Eve. Or one of the Sarahs, at least. Here she plays Monica Brown, an up-and-coming television personality.
We finally figured out the formula for success. Faceless victims and a host in jeopardy.
Who says in no uncertain terms that she doesn't care about the pain and suffering of her guests, just how they can put on a stupid show and rake in all the sweet, sweet ad revenue. Hey, I respect the hustle. But, lest we forget, this is a horror movie and nothing makes kills quite as sweet as poetic justice, so she is attacked! And wow! This movie establishes very quick it is a horror flick for gorehounds. It's amazing how much blood she was hiding behind those eyes. You may be wondering exactly why did this woman just decide to brutally attack her right after the show? Well, moving on, we are introduced to two new characters, a pair of drunk women fresh from a Halloween party. Dawn, played by Katherine Cochran, and Tara, played by Jenna Cannell. You know, Kim from The Bye Bye Man. Dawn wants to drive home, but Tara insists she's far too fucked up to be able to. But as they argue, a clown approaches.
Hey, handsome!
Cut it out.
My friend wants your number.
Fucking kill you.
Come buy us dinner.
Who, as we can tell, is Art, but this time he's played by David Howard Thornton, who's not that bad of a choice. He has mime experience. Tara thinks he looks like trouble, because, you know, he's fucking Art the Clown, but then he disappears. Same difference, Tara's a bit too drunk too, so they stop at a pizza place to sober up for a bit.
Great.
Gotta love how slasher movies used to have to work hard to explain why the phones weren't an option. They're out in the middle of nowhere, and the phone lines just don't go out that far, or they don't have service, or if there's a citywide power outage or some disaster there, and maybe the slasher villain knew to cut the power lines. It doesn't matter if they're undead, they remember that's an important step. But now, fuck it, it's an iPhone. The battery dies in like 15 minutes. Unfortunately, their calm little stop for snacks keeps them stationary enough that their stalker arrives shortly after.
Are you okay?
Okay, you really don't need the creepy music in order to be able to tell there's seriously something wrong with that fucking clown! Dawn thinks Tara's just being paranoid, and to prove the clown is harmless, scooches on over to take a few selfies with the guy.
Thanks.
What the hell is wrong with you?
What, did you think he was gonna hack me up into little pieces or something?
But enough foreshadowing. The owner of the pizza place, though, doesn't really like how quiet Art is when he tries to take the clown's order, so what exactly does the clown want? He's got another way to express that.
What are you doing? Thanks.
Oh, Jesus, why couldn't he have just been a flasher or something? That out of the way, Art heads into the back, and Steven, played by Gino Caffarelli, gets the girls their order and ensures them that he's gonna go back there and make sure that clown doesn't do anything to them.
You fucking freak! Get over here! All night with you fuck!
Jeez, I know the bathrooms in California tend to be reserved for paying customers, but it's a bit harsh, don't you think? He kicks his ass out, along with his trash bag of mystery, and gets his employee, Ramon, played by Eric Zamora, to head back there to clean it up.
I'm telling you, that guy totally whacked off in there. He was obviously turned on by you.
You're fucking sick.
Well, if he did, it was on the side, as his activities in the back of the establishment were much the same as they were in the original short. But what's this? They may be sobered up, but their car is now fucked up! The tire has gone flat for some mysterious reason, leaving them stranded.
Do you have a spare?
It's on the car.
This reminds me of something. Jeepers Creepers 2, how the teenagers were just too stupid to realize that it's fine to wreck the rim if, as a result, hey, dozens of you don't get murdered. Though here it doesn't piss me off. There's a pretty good reason why. These characters, they don't know that they're going to get murdered if they don't get the fuck out of there right now. So for all they know, it's just going to cause tons of dollars worth of damage for no reason other than to save them a couple of hours. As such, they call up Tara's sister, Victoria, played by Samantha Scafidi. Calling on Dawn's phone, of course. Tara's phone is still dead. Victoria's kind of busy, though, studying for a test, has to be up in 5 hours.
You know what? I gotta stretch my legs, and besides, if I fail, I can always blame you.
Of course, it's going to be hours before she gets there, but she is their only option, because in this universe, Uber doesn't exist. So, they wait. Though Tara's not exactly comfortable. She wonders if the weird clown from earlier slashed Dawn's tire.
Should have just let you drive.
Yeah. You should have.
I mean, you might have wound up in a horrifying car accident, but hey, at least that's quick compared to what's coming. Which we get a peek of now that Ramon has finished cleaning up all that fecal matter in the back. But when he tries to yell at his boss about how disgusting of a task it was, he finds out that there is absolutely no way in hell he is ever going to get that time and a half. As Art the Clown attacks, chopping his hand clean off and stabbing him in the face. And if this isn't bad enough,
I really have to pee.
no matter how safe you think you are in a horror movie, a crisis situation will always drive you out of your comfort zone. And it's not really like they can use the bathroom back at the pizza place.
Maybe that guy has a bathroom that you can use.
Who?
That creepy guy.
Okay, if we're going from bad to worse options, then why not check the pizza place first? I mean, yeah, they're pretty sure something gross happened in the bathroom there, but someone was also sent to clean it up, and they don't know that everyone's been murdered, so your choice is a freshly cleaned bathroom, or a random guy on the street who you don't know, probably doesn't even have a bathroom available, and what the hell is that even a choice for? The no-haired creepy guy would be Mike, played by Matt McAllister. He's an exterminator who is dealing with this building's little rat problem. Still, they have a functioning toilet, and she is free to relieve herself.
Do you need me to wait for you, or...?
I'll be alright.
Just to establish, no, we are not going to be taking any extra precautionary measures in this horror movie. Yeah, the body count is rising, but they don't know that. That is, until the radio news station reveals some shocking revelations. There is a killer clown on the loose who has already killed 2 pizza shop employees and is still on the loose. Fun fact, Damien didn't have to pay to have an ambulance drive by in that scene. They were just filming and one happened to go by and they worked with it.
Oh my god, you're never gonna believe what I just heard on the radio.
Well, tell him. The suspense is killing someone. We established the screams go unnoticed because Mike cranks his tunes way up, but what about Tara? Well, when she said she knew the way out, she might have been fibbing a bit there, and neglected to mention that if there were weird noises in the building, she would no doubt move in to investigate them.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You don't have to say a word. Your eyes tell me everything.
This would be Puya Musheni playing a vagrant with not the strongest grip on reality, having a strong maternal instinct focused on a doll of hers. Well, that's all Tara needs to know, and decides to play along just enough to get some distance from the woman. But then... Oh, god damn it, Art! I would have pissed my pants had I not just relieved myself moments earlier. So she must run! And trip, as you do in horror, trying to hide from the clown's casual stroll of pursuit. Oh, jeez, this reminds me when my cat, Tara, gets outside and hides under the car, and I have to get her out so we can go to bed. Okay, similarities to how I interact with my cat have ended. Art stabs her leg over and over, but she stabs his armpit and escapes, continuing the cat and mouse part of the movie here. Alright, now to find some tall grass to crouch in. She slips away to reach the front door, but unfortunately for her, the clown has chained it shut. Moving on to the phones, we establish that those aren't working either. But wait! The exterminator is here and she can ask him for help! Huh, that's funny. I don't remember screams of terror in this part of the song. Art silences her screams with his handy-dandy sedative syringe, leading to her awakening to find herself taped to a chair in the lair of the clown. Now, he could easily kill the fuck out of her right now, but he seems to have other plans. Plans that involve a hacksaw, and of course... Dawn, hanging there, by her ankles, naked, and yeah, this is a serious scene for you gorehounds out there, but unfortunately I can't really trust YouTube to not think that this is real and intended to shock viewers with no context that in this movie review show, this happens to be a movie, and I happen to be reviewing it. So... I got it. Damn, they make these out of hard plastic now. Okay, just imagine it went all the way down. As Art goes all the way down, getting stuck on the skull, of course, this gives Tara enough time to tear away her binds and bitch slap the clown. Why, oh why, does everyone just do one little stab and then run? Why not stay a little while longer and do a few more stabs to make sure the motherfucker doesn't get up and continue chasing you for the rest of the movie? Because we go right back into the cat and mouse scene with Tara and Art. Tara being the mouse in this situation, of course. Or maybe the cat, as she jumps out and beats him with a 2x4 until he is crawling on the ground in incredible pain.
Get up! Get the fuck up!
Again, big, bad, evil slasher man. I don't care if you can brag about how awesome and badass you are, even with a bum leg. You probably shouldn't give him a chance to recover. That's only going to... Yeah, that. You gotta remember, with Art, unlike most slasher villains, he's got a gun, and he ain't afraid to use it. Oof. Well, still, we're only about 40 minutes in, and she's got plot armor. She's only been shot in the leg and the side. She'll be fine. Well, we didn't see that she could still be alive. See, he shot her in the sinus. Certainly something horrifyingly uncomfortable, but she's alive, and not only that, it was the last bullet in Art's magazine. As long as, ambulances swarm right now, she'll be fine. But Art heads back to his big bag of tricks to reload. Right when Victoria is showing up and, unable to find Tara or Dawn, starts calling Dawn's cell phone. Gotta admire a mind who sticks to the craft. Only texting and the phone stay on vibrate. But back with Art and Tara, well, you can survive that. It is rare, but there have been cases where someone is shot through the brain on one side, and miraculously... Movie, I was actually rooting for the character with the same name as my cat. You could have left a little opening there for her to maybe show up in the sequel. Witnessing this, the vagrant decides to run for help, but running into Mike, he's just confused that some random homeless lady happens to be living in the basement of this establishment and doesn't pay any heed to her tales of a clown going around and murdering women left and right. But when he tries to head downstairs, he then hears Victoria snooping about.
What the fuck is going on here?
Well, that answered the question. Hearing Mike was calling a friend, Art smashes the phone into tiny little bits. But in a horrifying twist, the baby doll is missing. This is clearly because, as we all know, psycho-murdering, clown-obsessed madmen are very keen on playing with dolls. Which results in a kind of peculiar scene where the mother is begging Art for her baby back, and the result of this is we kind of get a glimpse into Art's soul as she asks questions about his humanity. Can he care? Does he know empathy?
Have you ever felt a mother's touch?
I mean, flailing about as a choking to death. Does that count? She seems to get through to him as they embrace in a very disturbing yet emotional scene. Enough of that. It's time for more victims. Thus, Mike's friend and exterminating buddy, Will, shows up, played by Michael Levy, just to establish he's here, as Victoria's still trying to find Tara and Dawn. Calling their phone again, she hears it ringing and moves in to investigate.
I swear to God, if this is a prank, I'm gonna kill you both.
Well, Vicky, I hate to break it to you, but you're late to the party in more ways than one. Discovering Dawn's dangling, dismembered, disemboweled dead body clues her in, but as she runs, she hears screaming. Believing it to be Tara, she rushes to help. Finding a woman in anguish, she goes to help her, but it seems there's another woman nearby with parts chopped off their body. Yeah, I'm gonna have to creatively edit around this part as well. The man's gone full Buffalo Bill and made a woman suit out of the spare woman. But only one, which is a lot more efficient. Sustainable manufacturing. So I can't really show Art stalking around here with lady parts hanging off his body, but as he's naked and trying to get really into character, just imagine if Marilyn Manson was actually as evil as all his news reports said, and you've got a good idea. Victoria can't escape, however, and must hide.
Yo, Mike!
But Art just can't concentrate with all these damn distractions. Will is just about to say fuck it and leave, but at the last second he figures, hey, the key's probably under the mat, sealing his fate. It's not like he came in here to work anyway, it's obvious he came to die as he slowly looks around, taking stock of all the bloody footprints, haunted mop buckets, and creepy dolls. Yep, there it is. Man, how does it feel to only have 5 minutes of screen time and only exist to up the body count? With him dead, that just leaves Victoria to try to escape once more. But now Art is on a mini bike. Well, it's disturbing at least. And actually a good deal faster than the usual slow stroll of a slasher villain, so it gives him a distinct advantage. So of course he gets rid of it in short order, which is just as well considering Victoria sneaking through dark tunnels that it would be hard to ride through, or to sneak up and grab her face with plastic just like he did in the short. Oh man, why the hell does a plastic wrap never work? But what does work is a handy-dandy iron spike to the foot, giving her a chance to flee and discover her sister's corpse.
You can't be dead, sir. Fuck.
Oh, she most certainly can. That's a pretty damn obvious prop head. Looks an awful lot like the one from All Hallows Eve. Not sure if that's a homage or just really low quality. The circus sign, though, that's a homage, just like the spiky chain whip of torture. And just like the other homages, it's over and done with in record time. As Mike swoops in to save the day. Turns out he wasn't dead, and this doesn't really count as Deus Ex Machina because it does make sense for him to still be in the building. It also makes sense that he really didn't get killed from one whack with a hammer, and also he doesn't solve a damn thing. He saves her there and calls the police, but upon hearing their advice of stay still and wait for us, he says, "Fuck that, there's a killer clown after us, we gotta move," and proceeds to escort Victoria to the front door, which is still very much locked. Giving the clown more than enough time to close in on their position. Guys, the hinges of a door are on the inside of a building. You could just undo one door, boom, look, there it goes, freedom. But they didn't, so Art just stomps Mike's stupid face to death. And it's down to just Art and Victoria. Again! And no bother, she actually manages to smash the lock apart and flee. Ish. Outside's right there, but she decides to escape back into the building, looking outside of the clear outside, unless parking lots with streetlights are an interior thing now. And unfortunately for her, Art decided to do what I tend to do in a Grand Theft Auto game when I'm tasked with winning a street fight. Knocking her out and giving the bozo more than enough time to feast. Or not, as he takes so long the police swarm the area, demanding he comply.
No, no, no!
Ah, damn it. I was really looking forward to seeing him in court miming his defense. But what's this? Victoria is still alive! Though I guess that shouldn't be too surprising, considering when the others are rolled into the coroner's office, the lights begin to flicker, and... Yeah, remember that whole mildly supernatural angle they played with in the short? Well, that's Art. He's got Jason Voorhees-esque just can't kill me powers. But one more thing, remember that opening? The mutilated woman gone mad? Well, it turns out it was the ending before the beginning, as that woman was in fact Victoria! Yeah, no shit. Like, I couldn't figure that out when that opening had absolutely no explanation, and then the last 20 minutes of the movie were clearly spent setting that up. Anyway, that was Terrifier. Fuck, that was something. Considering I did All Hallows Eve last week, I can't say I wasn't prepared for the dark and gory stories of Damien Leone, but Terrifier cranked that gore up to 11. Can't say the Indiegogo backers didn't get their money's worth with that one, as while the effects aren't the most realistic out there, they harken back to the classic late 70s, early 80s gorehound grindhouse flicks. Which I believe is intentional. Terrifier isn't a horror story about examining the mysterious backstory of the clown, or some kind of local legend, or curse, or anything remotely resembling an explanation as to why the guy exists and is doing what he is doing. It's a pure distillation of the heart of the horror, that there is someone out there, and they will kill you. The reasons don't matter, the location, the history, completely moot to the fear derived from a monster coming for you. Now, that's both good and bad, because when it comes to telling a compelling story over 90 minutes, it helps for there to be points to keep in mind, concepts that come up for some kind of secret that is revealed at some point. The best this movie had in that regard was the twist at the end. The opening was an epilogue. Unfortunately, that really didn't have anything to do with the events at large, other than spoiling the fact that there would be one survivor horribly mutilated. The focus on the tension is done very well, but a side effect is that we run out of characters pretty fast. Those that survive most of the running time only do so because they don't have all that much screen time. This means I can't get too invested in any particular character because I'm never really given the opportunity to. Still, at the end of the day, Terrifier is a great horror movie because that's exactly what it delivers, horror. Art is a deranged killer, and that's all you need to know. People are dying, and it would be a preferable situation for all of their lives if they would not die. That's enough. And human beings are full of buckets and buckets of blood, and that ends up everywhere, coming in at 4 scenes so disturbing I had to edit around them completely. Out of 5. All Hallows Eve might work as a fun introduction to horror, but Terrifier is a love letter to fans of horror. Thank you all for watching. I've been Dr. Shado. And remember, don't let the psycho killer get back up. Do a fatality!